Hi, welcome back to my High Plains Live. I'm Danielle, your host. It is May 1st. Happy May Day, everybody. And this is episode 41. I am joined by my Springer Spaniel Willow, who's at my knee. Can you see her head? Where's your head? Nope. Look. Yay! Sorry. As I make everybody seasick, she has just found her little comfort spot and she's not going anywhere. She's like, I am going to stay here and let you scratch my chin. So, we have a co host, Willow, and I would like to welcome all returning viewers. Welcome back, and greetings to any new viewers who've managed to find the podcast. Let's begin with On the Needles. I have no finished objects. Of course not, why would I? I should have finished socks because they're children's socks. And how big can they get? But no, they've not gotten much further on them, maybe an inch. I was zooming along on socks for quite a while and now I've just stalled out. Willow, you're supposed to be a silent host. Yeah, so, don't know. I still have not ripped out my latticework socks yet. The ones that don't fit over the ankle anymore because it's, they're too tight with the lattice pattern in them because I did not double wrap my yarn overs. So that might be a reason why I've stalled out. I just have no mojo anymore. But socks, still working on, slowly but surely. But what has been taking up the majority of my time is my Runa Cardigan by Gudrun Johnston. And you may notice it is in a different bag this week. Ta-da! Can you see the plaid? It's a black watch plaid and it's waxed canvas. Love it. It makes it a little darker, the waxed. There we go. You can see it. Handle, detachable, sturdy zipper with a leather stop. Tan canvas interior. And this is by, I don't know how you say it, Tanny Casey? Tanny Casey? On Etsy, $35 for this waxed canvas bag that is this big. This big. It holds my cardigan. Yay. I'm on my third skein, start a fourth skein of yarn. I have been alternating the last few rows after my little disaster with the color work earlier. Color work, it's not color work. Oh, I'm in the middle of a row. Apologies. But after there, you can see the color line where it switched from one skein to the next. Since then, I have been fading in just a couple rows before I switch skeins. Oh no, don't tell me that's another one. I'm telling you, all the skeins sat down side by side in the sunlight look exactly alike. Same shade, no tonal variations until it gets knit up. And then I'm like, what the hell? So it's a little longer than last time. Yay! I have a little yarn management to do until I've completely switched over to the next skein. And then it's continuing on in seed stitch. Oh, and I forgot to show, and there's a little loop with a clasp in here on the inside too. Sorry, I really wanted like a fringe supply company bag or something. I really like that waxed canvas look. No way in hell was I going to spend that much money, so I just did an Etsy search. And this is for a nice size too, so very excited. Tanny Casey on Etsy.com. I will include a link in the show notes. Very excited about my Runa cardigan. Just seed stitching along in the evenings as we watch Jeopardy and I knit. So I've been doing a few decrease rounds as the pattern calls for it, and counting my rows, and that's it. I'm over halfway done with the seed stitch, and then I go into the top half of the cardigan, so pretty excited. I am also continuing working on my celestarium. I've gotten maybe 4 more rows down, so I'm like 66% done now, or something insane. It looks the same. I'm not going to show it to you. It looks the same. So does my prayer shawl. It looks the same. It's a giant garter stitch triangle. Yay! I have not been working on any other knitting. I have kept myself from casting on. Let's do acquisitions first. I went to local yarn store day at my local yarn shop, You and Me. And they had some sales, and so of course I had to buy something. This is a local hand-dyed yarn, Tricked Out You. The base is Sakatumi. It's 75/25 merino nylon. It does not have a colorway listed on it. All the others did, not this one, and of course, I forgot to ask. But look at these. Wash it out. There we go. Look at these colors. The turquoise and the copper. It's just, and the green, just beautiful. So of course I had to have it. Don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. It's too pretty for socks. I don't know. Very gorgeous though. And then 50% off handmaiden maidenhair silk mohair nylon blend. Is that not beautiful? Of course, I wouldn't have just bought it if I didn't have a plan in mind, because even at 50% off, it's still pretty expensive. I got 2 skeins. This is how excited. I hand wound a ball. I'm not that patient. But this is how excited I was to cast on a project. I have held off, but I am like right on the verge. I'm so ready. And that project is the Mix number 34 cowl, or as Joanna of Stitching the High Notes, Upper Joe calls it, the dragon scale cowl. That's totally what it looks like. It's awesome. I would have it cast on now if the pattern did not cost $8. Yes, I fully believe in paying for somebody else's work, and I'm going to. But one of my, it's not a rule so much as a recommendation to myself, is that I don't purchase patterns until I am ready to cast on. Because in the past, I've bought patterns and they've sat in my library. And yay, all for supporting designers. but it's wasting my money if I don't use that pattern and it just sits there. So, recommendation to myself. So it's in my queue. I've got my yarn balled up, my project bag waiting, and as soon as I give myself permission to cast on, I will pay for that pattern, print it out, and ready, set, go. So that's the plan with those acquisitions. And the mix number 34 cowl is what I've been stocking. That and blending boards. And you will discover why. Let's talk about her now, later. Spinning. We had a fiber swap at our knit group, spinning knit group last weekend. Everybody who was interested brought 2 ounces of fiber. We had about 8 of us participate, so the 2 ounces was divided into 8, and everybody came away with 2 ounces of mixed fiber. Well, excuse my large face, one of the members, Christy, brought her blending board. Thanks, Christy. It was lovely. And she let all of us play on it and make rollags, and it was lovely. So this is some of what we ended up getting. This is the milk fiber, soy silk fiber that I contributed. There's some alpaca, some cordell, some BFL, some merino. There's just, we got a nice little blend, nice mix of fibers, and got to play with the blending board. Nothing that came off there looked bad. Everything looked awesome. Christy, who probably has the most experience, made these awesome, I called them Neapolitan rollags, because that's kind of what they reminded me of, was the Neapolitan ice cream, or those wafer cookies that are strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate, you know, with the wafers. And so I tried to copy her effort and did not come off as successful. And obviously you can tell, like, this rollag has half the fiber on it. It is heavy. It was packed a little tighter than probably recommended. But had so much fun. Pink's not my color, but I love the way it got toned down and blended on the board. So had a lot of fun doing that. Some people, if I would have had another chance, I would have done the purple and the green and the blue together with the white and cream. And they looked beautiful. They looked like the desert with the sky, desert sky. It was gorgeous. Maybe with a little oasis with the green popping through. It looked awesome. So now I want my own blending board to play with. But they're like $150. I can't justify that right now because I don't really start with fiber from scratch. I generally use a finished prep of fiber. So I'm sorry about this light. It just keeps shifting. So I can't really justify it, but I want it. So we'll see. We'll give it a little more time. Maybe prices will drop. Who knows? But that's what I've been stocking, is blending boards on the internet. I have done quite a bit of spinning recently. I spun this last weekend with the group, and I've been spinning. Sorry. This green fiber. It's a merino silk blend, I think. Nope, just merino roving sage from, it's Ashland Bay. I think I got it from Paradise Fibers. I've already got 2 bobbins full. Here's my 3rd bobbin that I just finished this week. Actually, just a couple days of spinning, 2 days. Look at that. This is my Eggworks bobbin. 3D printed. I love it. It's my only one though because they're a little expensive. But packed as much fiber as I could onto that. So now I've got enough bobbins to ply. I think I'm going to 3-ply it. Because I don't think I'm worried about yardage. So I think I'll go for a 3-ply and see what it looks like. I have some BFL that I spun a long time ago. Sorry, I'm gonna sneeze. Allergies. And I wasn't sure what to ply it with. Well, I'm either going to get a red thread and thread ply it, or ply it back on itself. I do have both ends. So, because I want this out of my singles, don't know what to do with stash, and it needs finished. That's the dog. Her commentary. So I brought this out because I want to work on it, and I have one of 2 plans. I also have the same with this. This was spindle spun, I think. It's silk. It was from a silk hanky that I hand dyed. You can see the nubs. It's more peach. I thought it was more red and orange, but it's more peachy pink. This, I think I will thread ply. So Joanne's and I have a date coming up of threads to be purchased. And I've been doing a lot of spinning lately. And I've got my natural brown black alpaca fiber that I've been spinning on my cheap spindle. Like my $5 spindle. I bought these on Etsy, cheap, I think like 4 for $20, $25, because I wanted something to take to Rockledge Ranch, which is a living history city park, living history museum, but it's a city park. And I used to docent there at the cabin, and I wanted something children couldn't break if they practiced spinning, and indestructible, cheap, and some of the best spinners I have. So I've been spinning alpaca. I've been spinning merino. I've been blending fibers. I have been thinking about plying. I just have been on a spinning kick the last couple weeks, and I don't know if it's because it's spring and the weather's warming up or what. Little off topic. I did go outside to spin because it was so nice the other day, and should not have, or should have worn long sleeves or stronger sunscreen. Yes, hi Willow. Because I got sunburnt. Can you? Yeah. Woo! Just a little. Just a lot. So, of course, I couldn't make it through April without getting a sunburn. Redhead. Hi, baby. Sorry. So I see no end to the spinning kick dying. I am having a blast with it, and I will continue to do so, hopefully. I will move on to under the needles. I showed you my 16 blocks that I had pieced together for the Prairie Woman Sewing Circle last time. Hold on. Well, I had them pieced together, but I didn't have the top finished yet. And of course, I had post-it notes labeling each block number on the center of the block so you couldn't really see what it was. Oh, but now you can. I sewed my rows together, and yesterday I actually just, it's called sandwiching, quilt sandwich. You do the top, the back, and the batting in the middle, and quilted it on my machine. I was pretty confident about it. One, because it's a small, it's like 18 by 18 piece. And I only did straight lines. So, sorry, Willow. I did up. Okay. I did straight lines in between each block and across, and then I outlined each block like that. Don't know if you can see. There. But I really like the way it turned out. It was supposed to be pink and blue scrappy for patch. Use the same blue fabric throughout, different pinks and different shirtings for the background. Some people did it less scrappy and used the same background. I kind of liked, the different backgrounds. And so I quilted it. I think I did not do too bad a job. Again, it was fairly easy because it's a small piece and it was straight lines. What I'm afraid of is the free motion stuff or the pattern, like feather and fan and leaves and hearts, and I can't do that. But very happy with that. I picked a shirting, what would you call it? A ticking fabric for the back. Oh, there you can see my quilt design on the back. And this fabric actually is for the binding. And I sewed it down on the front and back hand stitched it to the back while watching TV last night. Jeopardy! And we get a lot accomplished. If it's not hand stitching, it's knitting. So, and I feel like it's making me smarter. Random trivia nonsense makes me smarter. So, that's finished. It's only 18 by 18 inches, you ask. What are you going to do with it? I have no clue. It's either going to end up being a wall hanging, maybe in my craft room, or like just a little table topper somewhere. I don't know. I don't have a table that size. So, who knows? But I have a finished project. Quilted and bound. Yay. It is, like, it really is amazing to finish a project all the way through, from cutting the fabric to stitching the binding. And I have a lot of, just like knitting, I have a lot of whips in the quilt closet. And so even though it's a small project, it is very satisfying to finish something. Yay. I have also been doing additional handwork. Sorry! I know you didn't want to get that close to my chin. My little basket that I sit on the couch next to me. It's my, also for the Prairie Woman Sewing Circle, we are supposed to have, can you see them? Glare too bad. 64, 66 little yo-yos made by June. This is a yo-yo maker because I cheat. It's just easier to have a tool. Fabric goes in between, sandwiched. You stitch through little holes, pop it off, gather your fabric, and it makes a little yo-yo. Yay! I had none last month, and now I have some. So not every little scrap of fabric that I have left over, they have to be big enough. And that makes a 1-inch yo-yo. So tiny. I told myself I'd never do hexies. I have done paper piece, or English paper piecing hexies. Said I'd never do yo-yos. I've got yo-yos. 1-inch yo-yos. So, let me tell ya, I stick to my word. I don't know. But I do like the project that it goes into, and hopefully I'll like the finished result. I do like the fabrics going into it. Obviously, they're all reproduction prints I've purchased and used. So I like what's going into it. Hopefully I'll like what comes out at the end. So, yay. That is what's under my needle. I also was collecting fabric scraps last time that I believe I mentioned. Well, I put them in the mail, sent them to the other podcaster, and she gifted me one of the patterns that were in my queue. Thank you, Jenny. I really appreciate it. You probably don't watch this, but I sent you an email. If you do watch this, again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I am an enabler at heart. Let's admit it. Most knitters are. Well, so are quilters. So, we all have more fabric and we all have more yarn than we will ever use in our lifetime. Probably. Those of us with stashes have probably hit sable stash acquisition beyond life expectancy. Yeah, I admit it. I probably have more fiber than I will use, or fabric than I will ever use, because every new project I have, I end up buying new stuff anyway instead of pulling everything from my stash. I might pull coordinating fabrics, but I'm like, oh, I don't have enough of this. I must purchase this print. So you can see some of that. Yeah, that's not all. It's most, but not all. And that's hundreds of yards of fabric. Not going to use it all. So what's to be done? Enable a new quilter. Yay! So, we all love bringing new sheep into the fold. So I hope they meet with her approval and she can use them and bring them into the quilt she's working on. So hope she enjoys them. Good luck. And in the garden, still have a list of yard work as long as my arm to do. I did mention how it has finally warmed up enough to spin outside and how I promptly got a sunburn. I still need to do yard work, but now my excuse is, well, I have a sunburn. And I don't want to make it worse. I'll get out there someday and finish my list. Right now, some things that are time sensitive is my vining plants need started up the trellis. My hops are already growing, and I need to train those up the trellis and trim off the extra vines. And my clematis is already growing. It kind of got cut down last year. Not all the way, but it was looking so pretty, and it was just starting to really fill out. And then we had our house painted, and so I had to take it down off I have one of the porch posts, twine nailed around it and wrapped around it for the clematis to trellis up. And so the clematis had to be torn off the porch post so it could be painted. And I just cringed because I was not sure if it was going to come back or not. And it did. It has. I'm so excited. If I think about it, I will get a picture of me of me training it up the trellis, because it has to be started over from scratch. It was torn completely off, and I was like, it's all gonna die. And it's come back, it's vining. They're starting to vine around each other right now, and if I don't get it up that trellis quickly, it's going to not like being torn apart. So that needs done in a timely manner. That's all I have for in the garden, because again, I'm procrastinating. In the bee yard, I've been continuing to slowly clean my equipment. I am looking for a new location. The existing location at the nursery, literally across the street from me, it's less than a 5-minute trip, is not ideal. It's inside a gated area, and that's great. It's in the middle of fields, that's great. But to put it out of the way, it's in the back corner of a lot, and they keep putting piles of dirt and compost in front of where my hive is at. And so I end up having to climb over a dirt pile to get to my bee boxes. And if I have to haul equipment, that is not convenient. So I'm looking for another location that, again, isn't too far away, has a good range for the bees, and is friendly to beekeepers. So I'm doing some research looking for that. Off topic. I'm doing research on a trip to Croatia too. It seems like I've been doing tons of research lately, looking for a new location for the bees, planning a trip to Croatia, researching thoroughbreds that are running for the roses. Love the Kentucky Derby. My husband's family always has a party. Only this year they're going to be out of town. So it's up to us. And I think we're going to just do something low key at our house with a couple friends and have people wear hats and bow ties and drink some mint juleps. We have no shortage of Maker's Mark in the house. So that's the plan. I have been sneezing nonstop for the last 2 weeks. I'm actually surprised I made it through this podcast without having to edit some out, because even while taking drugs, the seasonal allergies have hit. Yay. As I look at the pictures on Instagram of everybody else showing their trees in bloom, beautiful magnolias and lilacs and cherry blossoms, and I just start to get so envious, and then I think about all the pollen. And I'm like, nah, I'll wait another few weeks till our trees blossom out. Oh, let's see. I have been watching repeats of The X-Files on demand in advance of the reboot. Very excited. Love The X-Files. Big sci-fi fan. The truth is out there. So hopefully there's some other geeks out there too who are excited. I've just been enjoying my crafting time, knitting and spinning and sewing, and between that and sleeping, I have been sleeping more than usual lately, and I think that's just a symptom of my depression. I'm not particularly saddened at this moment or anything, but I do have some additional stress just worrying about family and some other things. And I think that stress is showing itself in extra hours I'm sleeping. So if that's the worst of it, hooray. I am cognizant of it and I'm keeping an eye on it. So that's half the battle, right? Is paying attention to your mental health. Yay. And on that note, sorry. I would like to thank you all for watching, taking time out of your busy spring schedules to spend some time with me. You can find me as Danny Girl Co. on Instagram and Ravelry, and show notes can be found at www.myhighplainslife.blogspot.com. Thanks for watching. See you in a few weeks. Bye!